Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a special edition. This is the holiday episode, and it's a bit belated. This is Monday, December 29th. I wanted to do my trade last Friday on December 26th, but I didn't know whether the stock markets were going to be closed, and in fact, they were. So I couldn't do my trade, so I just simply do it today. And yeah, let's go right ahead. You hear me being a bit sick, but should be no problem. I got the 1,000 euros ready and let's go. So let's review the order. Let's see. Seems all good. And let's buy. So let's refresh here, see what happened. And boom, we got it. It's all done. So yeah, let's check quickly the portfolio here. As you can see, we're up now. So all in all, 8,000 euros were invested. And there was a bit of an end of the year rally because as you can see here, I mean, this is just a 1 week view, but over the month, we were down quite a bit already. So you see here, we were down 165 euros. And then now we end the year almost. I mean, let's see, there's 1 or 2 more days, but we're up a little bit. And yeah, super interesting that you can see that now the fluctuations are becoming larger. When we had 1,000 invested, the fluctuations were 10 euros up or down, and now we have pretty much 8,000 euros invested, and so now we might have 100 euros up or down on a daily basis, and that's completely normal. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the last trade of 2025. Looking forward to continuing the saga next year. But yeah, let's look briefly at what else happened in the world and yeah, how the markets have done last week. All right, so let's look at the markets here, and you can see overall a very good picture. So the MSCI World is up and the MSCI Emerging Market is up, and pretty much every country here. We don't have a perfect weekly overview because this is now from, I think, Monday to Monday instead of, Friday to Friday. But never mind. So yeah, what were the main stories here? We did once again the review here, the good, the bad, and the ugly. To keep it simple, I tried once again my little game here to summarize the week in a movie title and then give me some main takeaways. And the movie title is Full Speed Ahead. So yeah, what's the main takeaways? US markets ended the year strong. Stocks hit record highs. There's the fastest economic growth in 2 years, resilient consumer spending, and of course, renewed optimism around AI. And yeah, there is a little bit of softer consumer confidence and mixed labor market signals. But yeah, who cares? It's all about AI. Globally, momentum was uneven. Japan and China saw equity gains supported by policy expectations and, of course, AI enthusiasm. It's always that. And then Europe remained cautious as recovery hopes contrasted with subdued business sentiment. So yeah, this is what it is. So US stocks hit record highs. That's pretty clear. But there's a bit of a consumer confidence crisis, I would say. Confidence slid for the 5th straight month, so that's certainly not good. And then the job market wasn't good either. Europe, we saw a slightly higher closing here amid positive sentiment about earnings and the economy next year. But it is a mixed picture. So here, I think as a representative country, we have Germany. Germany sees a gradual recovery, but the IFO, which is the Institute for Economic Research, they say companies are downbeat. So the GDP increased slightly, and you would say 0.2%, that's nothing, but actually it's more than the 0.0 that was expected. And the latest forecasts for the coming years, so 2026 and 2027, are also positive. I mean, super small, very undynamic, but it's the best you can do right now. And basically here you can see, despite this growth projections, you see companies remain very cautious. There's no spirit of optimism to be seen anywhere. Wow, it's pretty bad. Japan closed quite a bit higher, benefited from optimism around AI, so that's the positive story. But the Bank of Japan says that basically there might be future monetary policy tightening. That's at least what investors expect, but also here the Bank of Japan president or governor said if the bank's baseline scenario is realized, it will continue to raise its policy rate. And then we got China. China also closed higher. I think once again it's an AI story. I would say there was no real economic indicators that were released. And here it says numerous indicators signaling lackluster growth, but still most analysts expect China will meet its official growth target. Yeah, so who were the big movers? I think here we have Taiwan and South Korea. Those are, of course, the ones that most benefit from the whole AI hype. One little update, I saw that I made a mistake on this table. I used to put the wrong ticker here. I put actually the ticker for TSMC when it should have been the TAIEX. So that's been changed. That's correct. And you can see here 4% and 5%. When we look at the Taiwanese stock exchange here, you can see TSMC, Honhai, Delta Electronics. So those are really the big movers. Companies that are somewhere in the electronics space and directly or indirectly benefit from AI. And then we got Korea, the other big mover in the week. And here we see the 1 week performance in this column. And here you see Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix. And they are, of course, huge. You know, SK Hynix, there was some story around a trading restriction. Stocks that moved too much over the last year or so, they were somehow restricted from trading. So I think that's just to keep the market a bit, or prevent it from going crazy. And this has been lifted now. And so now you can see these companies really growing fast. So yeah, this was the picture. And I think if we recap the entire year, we see that it was incredibly successful. Here you can see across the board, every single country showed significant growth, and also the MSCI World and the MSCI Emerging Markets. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, it turns out that there were lots of countries that showed a strong performance, and the US, which has been the locomotive of the past couple of years, also showed a fantastic year, but it was even overshadowed by all these other countries here. You see Japan grew big time, France not so much, but Germany, UK, Canada, they all outpaced the US. And then we come to the emerging markets and we have the same story here. We have China growing quite strongly, Taiwan big time. India is a bit weak. Maybe we do a deep dive at some point to understand what's going on there. And then Brazil, Mexico, South Korea, crazy growth, really crazy growth. So yeah, this is it. Let's look at the charts here. What happened over the past year. And yeah, you see here, this was the absolute bottom on April. This is after Trump's tariff announcement, and you will see this dip in every single country and then a recovery. And yeah, the recovery was different for every country, and not all the countries then ultimately grew very strongly. But the principal pattern is the same. All right, so much for the year. This was episode 8 of my investment journey, and everything is going according to plan. And we're going to continue trading next year, and the next trade should happen on Friday already. Looking forward to see you there. Follow me, like and subscribe, and I see you soon.